The following podcast contains real reviews and the ridiculous reactions of two would-be oracles of the internet. The opinions expressed and presented are mere musings, so please humor their hijinks with a laugh and not by taking anything they say seriously. Seriously.
Hello and welcome to ReviewParty.com. I'm Brent.
I'm Matt.
And hey, this is a podcast. I hope you know that much. It's on the internet. It's about the internet. What else is about reviews? That's why it's in the name. Okay. You know those funny internet reviews about the 3 wolf moons and the poo poo gummy bears?
Yes.
We're reading all of those and then some. Places like Amazon, Yelp, Google, Kohl's, Target,
Home Depot, JCPenney.
Yep. RateYourMom.com. Got them. Yeah, there's comedy there too. As you can tell from that really well crafted Your Mom joke.
That hot riff, yeah. Really got him.
Let's listen. I know someone who can bring that shot of comedy that we need into the episode. I have a review submitted by the king of comedy himself, Eric Martin.
He's back.
He's back. This is from HomeDepot.com.
I just set Home Depot on a whim.
Oh boy. 9.4 in 26 pounds bullet countertop ice maker in stainless steel.
Okay.
Pretty nice looking countertop ice maker.
So it really make them look like bullets?
Or
is that just a general description of the shape? I assume it's just a general description.
It's just a general description. That's kind of how they...
I think I actually might know what kind of ice maker this is. There's like a center, and it like pushes. So it's sort of like a hollow bullet.
Name. They don't even have names on here. These are wholly anonymous.
Whoa.
But for this ice maker here on Home Depot, let's read this review left April 9th, 2025. This is hot off the presses, folks. Leave a review. Why, certainly this ice machine is my new best friend. I love eating ice. I know. Anywho, if you want cloudy ice, use spring water or water with minerals. If you want glass, parentheses, clear ice, use distilled or purified water. Setup was super easy. Operating it was super easy. Best purchase. Love it. Highly recommended. Okay, bye now. Bye, Tracy. 5 stars.
All right, Tracy. Thanks, you freak. Not to judge.
I know people that like to crunch the ice, but the dedicated ice cruncher maker, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple things to get here. But I think first and foremost is that Tracy says this ice maker is her new best friend.
Sure.
Which I really do believe based on the rest of this review and how much Tracy is just grasping at any sort of connection, either digital or machine based or anything.
People, let me tell you about my new best friend. It's the ice maker on my counter in my kitchen.
Oh, I worry for Tracy a little bit. I feel like Tracy's probably like a cat. As soon as she hears the rumble of the fresh ice just drop into the into the containment thing.
Yeah, you don't really see. You didn't even know she was in the room, but there's an accelerated pitter patter that lets you know she just left the room.
I go, oh, Tracy. Oh, yeah,
Tracy was under the couch.
Yeah, you're watching like CSI Miami and you just hear, what the heck? Oh, Tracy got some fresh ices under the couch again. Don't worry about that. Just Tracy chomping her ice.
I want to know what the ice heads I mean, do they like got chopsticks to remove this? Do they just plunge a fist in there like a cookie jar?
I feel like you got like your special cup, your special like big cup from Bandito Barney's, the bar down the street where you get your giant Long Island iced tea in a big old cup, and then you just you scoop that sucker in there and yeah, you tip it back. Yeah, that's good stuff. Because otherwise your fingers will get all numb and scraped up.
Yeah, I know ice is like frozen and like doesn't have germs on it or whatever, but grimy fingers on ice, I just can't help it. There's a containment that happens, a contaminant.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't think Tracy does either.
Ice needs to be clean and clear and under control.
Yeah, the clearness, the alchemical expertise that Tracy is wielding here with the tap and the spring and the mineral and the distilled. She going all over the place with this stuff.
I like a beautiful clear glassy ice cube, but I really couldn't care less, honestly.
Yeah, as long as it's cold, that's generally fine.
I heard also if you boil water before you put it in the ice tray, that makes it nice and clear.
I tried to I've succeeded in making clear ice. The way, if I'm remembering right, it works is that like there are special molds for you to do this, but it's something like I did it in an old cooler, like a 6-pack cooler, but you leave the top open, and it's like the last ice that freezes is going to be the clear stuff. So on the bottom it was all foggy, but on the top it was clear, and then it's like, oh yeah, you just cut it, chisel it out real easy.
Don't let Tracy know about this technology.
It's wicked stuff, and there are molds to make it easier. But hey, yeah, Tracy, I don't know. Maybe you can get yourself
ice layer cakes.
Get yourself a $2,000 clear ice, skull ice, ball ice, pellet, all sorts of orb ice machine maker. That'll be your best friend.
Oh, I imagine she watches those videos of like Japanese bartenders making perfect orb ice, like it's pornography. Not even like that, because I feel like there's a quietness to watching pornography. Mm-hmm. There's no anime. You're not jumping in on your seat. She's watching it like the most MCU pilled millennial watched fucking Endgame. He puts that ball of ice in the whiskey, and she acts like Iron Man just snapped his damn fingers. Act like Captain America just picked up Mjolnir and proved he was worthy.
I mean, that's a moment where you just clutch your heart.
I'd say, and chew your ice. Do you have a review?
Yeah. I got a couple of reviews here. I don't think they're necessarily contrasting, but they've got their special flavors. A couple of Google reviews for television program called documentary/crime Beyond Scared Straight.
Oh, this is the boys that go to the prison?
Yeah. This first review comes to us from Mati Jaffer. There's no titles here, folks. It looks like Mati didn't even give us a star rating, which is heinous. But Mati writes, "It is nice, but it is always same thing every episode. They need more dangerous juveniles. And the inmates need to be, like, not regret and still gangsters. The ones they have regret their past, but it would be better if they met the dangerous criminals in jail, you know?" And that's it.
You have a wild view of the world, my guy. These kids aren't dangerous enough. These criminals aren't dangerous enough. I want them knife fighting on my television.
I want the children's lives literally in danger. Just perilous situations.
Quit getting these kids that stole bikes and got in fights with their teacher, and get me a kid that is running a drug smuggling ring. Get me the kid that is performing assassin attempts for the Venezuela government.
I don't want any of these criminals who are trying to reform themselves, realize their past errors, and are like volunteering to assist us in preventing children from following the same path that they did. I want the guys that don't even want to be on camera. They're too dangerous.
He wants basically Batman villains. He wants the Croc, Mad Hatter, and Clayface to be talking to these kids.
Well, it's amazing that you said that, because the other review I have is from WCKF9142. They write, I love this show, but ... what if the Joker was in it? Then it would beat the hell out of the inmates who's trying to mess with him. 5 stars.
What if they put the Joker on Scared Straight? And he just beat up all the inmates. Wow.
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah, what if they did do that? I'm sure there'd be some, legal would have a damn nightmare with that one. Who knows if it'll go to air.
See, as you work your way through that review, you're like, oh, what if the Joker was toying with these children? But no, that last sentence is like, oh, you realize they're trying to scare the Joker straight. And that premise, yeah, that's great. Hey, nice makeup there, clown. I think that's some entertainment. Joker starts beating them up.
The Joker,
putting pencils through their eyes.
Right, there's the like us and them that this creates, like the sort of how they're watching what this review reveals about how they're watching the show is interesting. So the boys, because Joker's their hero, right? He's like, you put Joker in this situation, they'll beat up the mean people and make it all better.
Yeah, they're trying to mess with our buddies.
Right. So are the boys the heroes that are being picked on by the big evil inmates? And one of the boys should retaliate against this. I don't know, juvie system. What is it? It's got to be so fake for the show.
Yeah, I assume it's pretty. I don't know. The children are there because their parents signed waivers and stuff.
Yeah. My son Benjamin won't stop stealing my cigarettes, and I don't know what to do.
Well, let's bring him in prison and hear that clang clang.
You can watch the Joker beat up some inmates, and he'll freaking be scared straight.
Yeah. If you're just the other kid who's like also in there with the Joker.
Yeah, what happens to the other kids that go with the Joker? They have a pretty fricked up view of society after they go to be scared straight, and Joker just beats up all the inmates.
Joker just murders a bunch of people.
I guess that's some sort of origin story for. They all just have to become Joker's goons at that point. Put on a clown mask and start talking rough like they're from New Jersey. But that's already how those kids be talking. I have a review.
Let's hear it.
Amazon.com. The Funwee electric water gun for adult kids. Powerful automatic squirt gun. High-powered, shooting 100 plus times. Long range, auto water blaster, outdoor toy game, pool, transparent black.
Whoa. I like many of those descriptors and adjectives there.
Yeah, this is one of those, I guess they're electric water guns that you just put the nose in and it sucks up the water, and there's no pumping. It's just ready to kill out the box.
Yeah.
Which, they seem cool, but I don't know. Something irreplaceable about pumping your Super Soaker to violent levels. Just ridiculous pressures where you can't even put the pump in anymore.
Yeah, the thing The pump rod is like bending and twisting. Like,
Right.
come on.
You want the pressure so much that it is about to burst. But Chris G, they write birthday money put to good use. Or they title it Birthday Money Put to Good Use, and they write, oh, this is from May 6, 2025. Holy moly. My 12-year-old bought this set with his birthday money. After looking at Spira, he decided to take the plunge on this knockoff. Minus a few mediocre reviews, it was rated fairly high. It arrived the next day. It was out of the package in an instant. First impression was instant surprise at the build quality. It's well made, doesn't feel cheap, and looks great. He was easily able to charge and load the battery, fill the water, and discharge strong, even bursts. We were both impressed with the distance of the bursts. It launched as advertised, and with some bursts hitting over 30 feet. The real test was to see if my 6-year-old could operate it. Loading the battery will take some practice, but I'm sure he'll get it. We did not experience any leakage or other quality issues noted by other reviewers. Both kids could fill the reservoir with ease. Loading takes seconds, but the fun lasts much longer. Day 2 was a repeat of day 1. The boys look forward to many days of water fun. Each highly recommended this set. The oldest gives it a major thumbs up for value for money. I must second that. 5 stars.
This person's measuring scale is whack.
So I had a filet mignon, but I couldn't be sure if it was good until my 6-year-old had a bite.
That's the true test of any product, is whether my 6-year-old can handle it with dexterity.
The truth cometh from a babe's mouth, after all.
And then I asked my other son, who gave it a major thumbs up.
My hardworking 12-year-old who knows the value of $1
said it is well worth the price of admission.
I got him down there working on a farm for about 25 cents an hour with those immigrants. He knows. He worked a couple years to get this Super Zogra.
He knows what 30 feet is, believe you me.
He knows how to discharge strong and even bursts.
Oh. Ugh.
Son, that nearly went 30 feet.
I know, Father. I know. Now, here's your blindfold. Let's see you load and unload that battery pack.
Oh yeah, they're like hanging from they got the little hooks around their ankles so they can hang upside down with the blindfold on. Then put the gun, take it apart and put it back together with the stopwatch next to it.
If day 2 is an exact repeat of day 1, it sounds like they're on that sort of system.
Now, he had a little trouble putting the batteries in, but he was ready to kill within minutes.
There's a hornet's nest right there. Take it out.
By the 3rd day, they were filling it with battery acid and causing international crimes.
You know, we're just shooting out people's tires with various chemicals.
That would be sick. Water gun filled with some sort of tire exploding chemical.
Blinding the local parishioners at the Baptist church.
Oh, I'm low on water. Guess I gotta reload. Sorry, Jesus. And you just slurp up a bunch of holy water. Blood of Christ, more like blood of my enemies.
That nozzle dip is pretty sick. I'll say that.
Yeah, they put it in the commercial for a reason. They sort of whatever engineer thought of that was. I hope they're living in, I don't know, Acapulco now.
Oh yeah, they're looking at the beach.
At the beach.
As much as I personally do have a distaste for this sort of thing, because yeah, I like the. Oh man, the Super Soaker where it actually had the pressure gauge on it too. Ooh.
My childhood Super Soaker, I think I talked about it in the Super Soaker segment. It was the Trident Spear Super Soaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where it had 3 and you could pull a lever and it would, the ones on the left and right would look left and right.
Yeah.
So you could presumably shoot enemies on your flanks as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, when they try and, those raptors, those clever girls try and flank both sides. And maybe it's something just purely American, harkens back to our days of like musket rifles where you frantically gotta reload. Cram it down, just to have to. Let's go. It's too easy.
That's what makes Super Soaker fights, the give and take of it all. Because, like,
yeah, it is
in a
too
snowball
brutal.
fight, right? In a snowball fight, like, who wins? You just throw snow until you're tired of it. But there's moments of vulnerability. In the Super Soaker battle.
You've got your fully automatic submachine gun just mowing down your enemies, or your fully automatic battery-powered squirt gun. It's just pure bloodshed and brutality at that point.
And to the point where I'm sure you become you just become used to it. It becomes it's not special anymore. How long until you're just standing 10 feet away from your friend, like shooting each other with water?
Yeah, man. Something special about the manual nature of it.
Me and Matt are going to go pump up our Super Soakers. We'll be back after this.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to our lovely little podcast. If you'd like to go above and beyond in supporting our show, or have the most fabulous conversation starter since sliced bread, go to reviewparty.com. Click on shop and explore some fabulous t-shirt designs.
Where's your favorite place to wear a t-shirt?
On my body.
Mine is at the store.
That is a good place to wear a t-shirt. Reviewparty.com. Click shop.
Why stop there?
Don't stop now.
Don't stop me now, because I'm buying a t-shirt. I'm buying a shirt.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of the episode, and welcome to Upon Further Review. This is the OG segment, the one where we look at things we thought we knew and we realize how little we knew. In this case, it's maybe just like how little we paid attention at all, unless you're super, super curious, or were listening to last week's episode and I mentioned it, because I'm talking about Alan Smithee today. Alan Smithee, which is a pseudonym for film directors that don't want to be attached to those films that they made. Yeah, and you may see it in various other forms of media, whether music video production or just on the credits of a video game or something like that. It is now known enough that some people will recognize it, but not everybody, certainly, because it came out of the Directors Guild of America in 1968, and that's what we're talking about today. Apparently, it was only in use from 1968 until the year 2000, and it is the only pseudonym used by Directors Guild of America members when the directors, dissatisfied with the final product, proved to a guild panel that they hadn't been able to exercise quote-unquote creative control over a film.
Oh, so this is a mulligan. When you want to mulligan one of your movies, you name it after Alan Smithee. I thought perhaps it was like too controversial. They, wanted Steven Spielberg wanted to do an indie flick and didn't want his name on it, so he
you don't want that smear.
Right, but no, this movie was doo-doo. Everyone on it was doo-doo. I don't want my name on it because I'm not a doo-doo man.
Yeah, I think generally that's the accepted use of it. There is, I guess, the first uses are a bit more, not controversial, but complicated. So, anyway, the history. Before 1968, the Directors Guild didn't let directors be credited under a pseudonym at all. And the reason that this was done is because they didn't want pseudonyms forced upon directors. Rather than directors saying, I don't want my name on this, they didn't want producers to say, hey, don't use your name, because they wanted to think, oh, well, a director is kind of like the author of a movie. They should be the most creative, visionary, hands-on person, so their name should be attached to it. If you're watching E.T., you don't want some random person's name if it was obviously Steven Spielberg. But there was this movie, Death of a Gunfighter, released in 1969. And apparently, its lead actor, Richard Widmark, wasn't happy with his director, Robert Totten, and got him replaced with another guy, Don Siegel. Siegel later estimated he had spent 9 to 10 days filming, while Totten had spent 25 days filming, though each director filmed about an equal amount of footage that ended up in the final cut. But Siegel, the second director, made it clear that Widmark, the actor, was the one effectively in charge the entire time. So when the film was finished, Siegel's like, I don't want to take credit for this, because I filmed for 10 days, and this actor was more creatively in control than I was. And the first director's like, I'm not taking credit. I got fired. And didn't finish the film. And so the Directors Guild of America was like, okay, well, yeah, it does make sense that this film doesn't represent either director's creative vision. So let's make up a name. And they made up Al Smith. And then they were like, no, that's kind of really common. And it's already in use in the film industry. Let's add an E on the end of Smith. No. Let's add 2 E's on the end of Smith. And that's what they did. And as it turned out, critics praised the film and its quote-unquote new director. Even Roger Ebert writing, director Alan Smithee, a name I'm not familiar with, allows his story to unfold naturally.
That's like the original drummer of Blink-182. Like, man, it must have sucked to watch everyone really like that thing that you're not a part of anymore.
Yeah. But after that, Alan Smithee continued to be used when people didn't feel like they had creative control of their own product. There are various spellings for Alan Smithee, and there was a movie with Eric Idle of Monty Python fame called An Alan Smithee Film, Burn Hollywood Burn, which was kind of a mockumentary about a film director named Alan Smithee who didn't want to attach his name to a project, but the only pseudonym he could have used was his own name. Which is a funny concept, but it must not have been great because it's got a 8% positive on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh. The concept sounds pretty right up my alley, just silly.
Yeah. What that did do, that was in 1997, was make the concept of Alan Smithee much more widely known, to the extent that a few years later, particularly after it was nominated for 8 Golden Raspberries and won 5 of them. So that harsh negative publicity made them stop using the name Alan Smithee for film director pseudonyms.
Wow.
Yeah, it hasn't been used much in Hollywood since. Here and there, it seems like it has been, but at least in Hollywood, it hasn't.
Imagine they made a movie about a guy named Jimmy Johns, and it was so bad that Jimmy Johns had to change their name. That'd
be insane.
That would be fucking insane, man.
Like, hey, man, I'm Jimmy John, and I love my sandwiches. Did that change? Oh, your whole deal?
Yeah.
There is a list of movies with Alan Smithee credits, and I was like, oh, these are just going to be like totally obscure things I've never heard of. Every now and then, though, there is something recognizable. but the reasoning is usually like, oh, this is a version that was edited for TV or edited to be shown on an airplane. But worth mentioning, there's the version of 1984 edition of Dune. So the David Lynch Dune. When it was edited for broadcast TV, the screenwriting credit goes to Judas Booth, as a reference to Judas Iscariot and John Wilkes Booth. So he must have just been so angry that they even touched his film.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, probably back then, editing for TV was just getting more and more heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to imagine so.
But, like, I don't know. Or David, original Dune ain't that special, buddy.
It's, kind of a funky piece of media.
Maybe that's why it's important to him, because it's so funky. But sometimes you gotta defunk it for the people, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's about all I have, although I did remember there was something. I went and read that Roger Ebert review of Death of a Gunfighter on rogerebert.com. And it seems like a fine review. There is like an asterisk that after he mentions the director, and at the bottom of the article it says, oh, it wasn't until years later that everybody found out Alan Smithee was a pseudonym. But the last paragraph of Roger's review, which again is for the movie Death of a Gunfighter, he writes, when the gunfighter dies, parenthetical, and despite the movie's title, somebody is sure to cuss me out for giving the ending away, an era dies. And it goes on to talk a bit more, but that good awareness, Roger. Good to know that the idiots are going to be like, what? You ruined it.
Fending off the masses.
Yeah, but if the movie is called Death of a Gunfighter, I'm sure you should probably know that that's what's going to happen.
When the salesman dies.
When the Iceman cometh. That's a lie. The Iceman never actually cometh.
When the sun comes out in Philadelphia.
When she coming around the mountain when she comes?
Oh, see, now that one the boys want to know about.
Yeah, you better hoot and holler. She coming around the mountain. Anyway, that's Alan Smithee. So now if you ever see that name, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know what that means. It's not a real person. For one reason or another.
You done learned something today.
You done learned.
Take that with you. I got something to take with you. All the reviewers are like, now I can drink on the go. Anyway, Amazon.com, Liquid Death Iced Tea Variety 12-pack, 19.2 ounce cans, Grim Leafer, Rest in Peach, Dead Billionaire, and Green Guillotine.
Okay.
Oh, they also have, I'm just reading what they got, the listings underneath. Since we love those. They also got Blueberry Buzzsaw and Slaughterberry. If you're looking for, that's
sick.
It's super sick. Rosie Mom 56 titles their review, "This tea does the job." Jobs in all capitals. I'm an avid tea drinker. Not snooty or snobby, but I like a good tasting drink. My first time drinking Rest in Peach, I just internally sighed and thought, this is a thirst quencher. I love when a drink just goes for the jugular and gets the job done. This is a good tea. I'm already back for more. 5 stars.
I hate it when my beverages are like, I'm not going to satisfy that thirst. No. Immediately? No, I'm not that wet. I'm gonna just sort of take my time.
Yeah, some of those drinks that are just like makes your tongue water phobic, where you just see the sort of bubble of air around your tongue when you're trying to take a sip.
This Rest in Peach, though? Right for the jugular.
Yakasha.
Yeah, once it gets in your throat.
It's like a puma just clamped on the jugular,
Woo.
quenching your thirst.
That's the good life.
This is probably like exactly the demographic Liquid Death is going for, right? Like ladies that describe their thirst being quenched by the drink going for her jugular.
Yeah, that probably is.
Someone with mom in their Amazon account name.
Like, she's got a tattoo, but it's of a plant.
She got it in 1979. But
and sometimes she wears bandanas in her hair. Watch out.
Yeah, I listen to metal. Has a Metallica tape.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses, right? I just love that Axl Rose. He's so hot.
And I think the other thing that makes me think this is target demographic is she's like insisting to a straw man that this is good stuff. It's like there's a sense that she needs to convince somebody that she's not being believed here.
Come on, believe me.
That's it. I am an avid tea drinker. I'm not snooty or snobby. This is a good tasting drink. This is good tea. I'm already back for more. Who are you trying to convince?
Yeah. Seem a little desperate there.
Who hurt you? Who said your tea wasn't good tea?
Who said you were snooty? It wasn't us. Don't front, it wasn't us. Don't put that on me.
She brought some of that imported Japanese tea bottles it's in like the green plastic.
Oh, yes.
Oi Ocha. And someone at work called her snooty for drinking that. And she's been on a warpath ever since, looking for a jugular clamping, thirst quenching tea. As I tell you, those Oi Ocha water bottles, that makes me think to sigh internally and think to myself, this is a thirst quencher.
Yeah, I'm gonna sigh out loud and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna let the world know that my thirst has been quenched.
Ah, that's good. That's a measured response. Now just like having an internal Joker laugh and thinking to yourself, a commercial tagline. That's unhinged behavior. Do you have a review?
Yeah, I do. I do have two, but I think I'm just going to go with this one. Well, I think there's enough here to chew on. This is from Amazon for the Bubble Gun Bazooka Bubble Machine Gun Bubble Blaster Gun with Bubble Solution 69 holes. Bubble Bazooka Gun Outdoor Summer Toy Gifts Party Favors for Kids. Purple Bubble Maker Blowers. It's 14% off right now, which brings it down to a low price of $28.49. Although you do get 2 little vials of bubble liquid and some Bubble Baba Bubble Enhancer or something.
See, it's another product of our, that takes some wholesome summer fun from our childhood and sort of optimizes it. Unquote.
Yeah. I'm going to start with Jamie's review. Jamie writes, I love it and it brings me so much joy. They write, it's a good deal of fun, but each bubble refill on the top doesn't last long. The bubbles are smaller than I anticipated. I love the lights coming out of the end as well. Fun for a silly toy. I originally bought this for my dog, but he was not interested. However, the more I used it, more fun I had. The lights and the bubbles are beautiful. In search of the perfect bubble juice to make a bubble last a little longer. I've read some recipes, but haven't tried them yet. I heard that glycerin, Johnson's baby shampoo, tap gelatin. I kept talking about it at work and everyone was laughing at me. But once I brought it in, everyone loved it. 4 stars.
And another review where someone's vindicated by their love of this stupid product.
I'm not a highfalutin bubble purist. I just try and make my own bubble juice.
What really the feeling that this review made me feel is like this bubble enthusiast, this newfound bubble lover. I don't know. There's no mysticism in the bubble launcher. It just, you press the button and a million bubble comes out. When you're when you're in the shit with those crappy plastic trays that you're dipping into the like shallow bubble water, when you get off a huge bubble, that's all you, dog.
That's like a whoa.
Right. Your mom comes over. Look what I can do. She makes the fucking bubble bigger than your head that's just floating around. And then you got to try.
Yeah, man. There's no magic here.
No, it's just that instant satisfaction. Just pull trigger, bubble, come out.
This feels like, what was it, Tracy with the ice maker? This person just needs a friend too. They tried to get this bubble gun for their dog, and their dog's like, nah, man, that ain't me. I don't care about bubbles. And then they're talking about it at work, and everyone at the office is like, whatever. And then you brought in the bubble gun to work. Where do you work that this was okay? I don't know.
All these people with jobs where they can just fuck around and do whatever make me crazy, man.
Like, yeah, if somebody was talking about a bubble gun at my work, I would probably be like, okay, yeah, that, whatever, cool, I guess. But if they brought it in, whether I thought it was cool or not, I'm like, well, it looks like we're not doing any work now because Jamie just brought in a bubble gun. All right, sick.
Yeah, that's true. If it's the sort of tight-knit, close office where the work will just shut down at the system for a day for a bubble gun.
I love it.
That would be great.
Take the phones off the hook. We got a bubble gun.
What a blessed life you must lead if you can just bring bubble gun in for show and tell at your job for adults.
I mean, I dig some show and tell these days.
Before we close things out, I just want to say, when you said bubble bazooka at first, I thought you meant bazooka brand bubble gun.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just, it was like a gun that you would like shoot bubble gum at your friends to enjoy.
That would be so cool.
I would be excited if someone brought that to work.
Hey, Johnny, open up your mouth. I got some hubba bubba.
Or some sort of apparatus you put chewed gum in and it makes a big bubble.
That would be pretty cool. Kind of gross, but cool. Just splatter saliva.
Thought about how gross bubble blowing is. You are just like exposing your saliva-soaked piece of rubber to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Popping it.
And then bringing it back in your mouth.
Yep, and then popping it with your finger, wrapping around your finger. Sick. Sick. All right. Before it gets any more disgusting around here, I'm going to close out this episode. Thank you for listening, listener. Welcome to the Real Ones Club. You made it through a whole episode. You're awesome. You're cool. You're neat. You probably want to know we got new episodes every Tuesday. That's right. #Tuesday. Reviews Day. If you'd like to send an absurd review for us to over, please send a hyperlink of the review to reviewparty.com@gmail.com, just like Eric did. Thank you again. Mm-hmm. And include your name. And just, actually, Eric doesn't have to include his name anymore. We're just on that sort of rapport. But you could get there so easy, so fast.
If you want to reach out to us in some other fashion, we're on social media at reviewparty.com on Instagram and TikTok, at reviewpartypod on Twitter/X. If you want to go to our website, that is reviewparty.com. That's where not only you can find every listening platform under the sun, in case you're sick of Spotify or Apple Music, if we're doing a protest against them or something, you're like, I'm not going to use them. I'm going to listen on my iPhone on some other podcast catcher. There's a bunch there. Podknife, Acast, Pocket Casts, all sorts of things you could lose yourself in. There's also a blog,
DJKhaledPodcast.com.
DJ Bubblebutt Podcast galore.
They love us.
Check them out. Blogs, Shop, Blue, Funds and Game on the website. Yeah, I recommend doing a little tour for yourself.
Check it out. What's it all about? Blue. Follow, subscribe, favorite, whatever that button is, wherever you're listening, hit that button. I don't gotta tell you, but it does help us out a lot, legitimately. The more people that hit the buttons, more people leaving comments. You can leave comments on the episode on Spotify now. That's cute. I see people mostly use it just to like, skip to 104 to skip the ads. Which, our show doesn't need that much, but that's good. Maybe a skip to here to see the first review, even though we've been snappy lately, okay?
Jumping right to it.
We're snappy in this era. You know what else is snappy? I got another review of Liquid Death to send us out of here. It's for the same one. Liquid Death, Iced Tea, Variety 12-pack, Grim Leafer, Rest in Peach, Dead Billionaire, Green Guillotine. It gets stupider every time you read it. Jairus Tanaka titles their review, Mom thought it was alcohol. They write, please guys, explain to your mom first before she sees it and the police come over for underage drinking of water. Police car had plastic seat in the back and no AC. Bruh. 4 stars.